At this point, you've been exposed to some of the major Eastern religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, and some of the major Western religions, Christianity and Judaism. Soon you'll study Islam. These religions are all very different, but they do hold some things in common. And one of the things that is commonly thought about Eastern versus Western religions is that Western religions tend to be pretty exclusivistic. That is, they believe their way is the only way. They have a special divine revelation. God has told them something through their prophet, which other people don't have access to. And it's only through their prophet or their holy book or their particular body that one can find salvation. Eastern religions, on the other hand, tend to have a little different view of revelation and of scripture, and prophets are not as important, and they are characterized by a pluralistic outlook, which means there are many ways. Many people have access to the truth. Many people have access to salvation. It's not really restricted at all. So, on the one hand, Western religions, and with an exclusivistic view, our way is the only way. And Eastern religions with a pluralistic worldview, many ways, many paths. Now, that's a pretty broad statement, and it's not totally accurate, as I hope that you realize at this point. But one thing that you have to think about as you study religion is, what do I think about these different religions? Are they all true? Can people be saved in any of them? Probably you come from some particular religious tradition, perhaps Christian. But even if you come from a tradition, that doesn't necessarily clear this up. You may think that your tradition is one of these, but you may be surprised. For instance, Christianity actually allows for a range of positions on this. So there are certainly Christian exclusivists who say Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That would be the majority of Christians, but there are Christian pluralists, Christians who believe there are many paths to the God of Jesus. What I would like to introduce right here in the deeper meaning, though, is a third option. If there's exclusivism here and pluralism here, there's a kind of broad middle territory, sometimes called inclusivism, which is neither extreme, but it's kind of working in the middle. There are lots of Christians who are inclusivist. And inclusivism takes two major forms. The first is inclusivism with regard to truth. So many famous Christians, people like C.S. Lewis, probably the most famous, a lot of early Christian writers, they said, well, truth has been revealed to many people in many places and many times. There's truth in almost every religion, almost every philosophy, even in mythology. There are true things there. They just don't have all the truth. And it's Christ and the gospel which fulfills all truth. So that's inclusivism with regard to truth. And those people would mostly say, whereas anyone has access to the truth, salvation belongs to those with the full truth, Christianity. The other possible way to think about inclusivity is with regard to salvation. There are some people who say, well, only Christians have the truth, only Christians have this revelation from God. It's the fullness of truth, and everything else is false. But truth and salvation aren't necessarily linked. And so whereas other people may be in complete ignorance, they may not know nothing about Jesus, they may know nothing about God, they may still be saved for God's mercy, because their heart is pointed in the right direction, because in some way they love their neighbor. There's all sorts of ways people think about this. But it's another option that God still may save people from other religions or even from no religions, even though they don't have access to the truth. So think about where you fall on this spectrum. Exclusive, pluralistic, or some shade of inclusive, where it's a little fuzzier, a little grayer. And I hope you'll continue to think about that as you add new religions to your files.